Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Primo Calcio cast. I am Michael here with Anthony, and we have a special guest today, Shane.
Cousin
Shane,
Shane.
hello.
Hello, hello.
Cousin Shane.
Glad to be here.
We're
Welcome.
all
We
part of the familia.
we brought Shane on because we're gonna do a deep dive into Milan here after a brief Champions League review, and it's he's also a Milan fan along with Michael, and he's gonna bring a
Huge
different
Milanista.
perspective. Yeah, he's a newer fan, so he's not old, crusty, and jaded like me and
Like I
Michael
am.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this would be a good counterpoint because we didn't just want it to be a show about a couple old guys complaining.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
This
I'm
is
still
still
perfect.
very, very contemporary, so I only know the history of what's going on right now. You guys have fortunately introduced me into the golden era of Milan with the Pirlo, just the magic that they brought in the early 2000s. So it's good to see what's going on right now,
Pirlo,
and it's good
Gattuso,
to reflect on
Shevchenko.
what was.
Yeah, this
Exactly.
is why this would be a good counterpoint. But let's start with some Champions League here. Let's do some Champions League review, and I guess we could start with the no, let's save Milan for
We'll
last.
end with the Milan game, then we'll go
Yeah,
into a build. I mean,
Atletico
I don't.
blowing out Praga, Sparta Praga.
Yeah, what 6-0?
Yeah,
That's
dude.
that's how you're supposed to handle those teams, though.
Yeah, it is. Dude, they got some cool players on screen. Here, let me put my screen up here. They got some cool players on this new look Atletico here, man. They really do. Okay, how do I get the details here? Yeah, look at this.
Like on matches. There you go.
He's been running the 5-3-2 forever, and this season he's doing a 4-4-2, and
Jimenez, Langley, Kalan. You're
yeah,
into DePaul, Gallagher. I like their team. Sorloth is a
yeah,
pretty solid player.
it's cool, man. I like what he's doing here. So, um, yeah, they took care of business today. They still got Greitzman, who's a badass. I don't think they needed him today. I think they were okay. They did just fine.
Is
Oh, did I
um
just
is
Insane.
I just cancel
is
out there?
Giuliano Simeone the Diego Simeone's son? Like the guy who plays right back for Atletico Madrid?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
isn't that cool?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and the other one's on Napoli. Oh,
He should just go to like Atleti or something, and they should all play together.
I agree.
That'd
Well,
be
I think
amazing.
Napoli are going to sell him now. I think he's just about done at Napoli. I like him as a player, but I don't think he
Same
fits
here.
into at all what Conte wants to do with his strikers. And I think that they've been linked with Boney, and I think
Yeah,
that's a
he probably fits
good.
better.
Yeah,
He's a
that's a
more Conte
great.
type player.
He's a good understudy to Lukaku too. But then let's look at this disaster game for Man Shitty. Oh man, what's going on
Yes,
there?
no. I've got a
Wow.
thought on that one, and
Yeah,
and
give
I
me a give
think
me a
this
thought.
is we are talking about it before the cast. This is for me is what happens when you don't have Rodri anymore. He's
Yeah.
so crucial to that midfield. He calms it down. He settles things up. He's like your true regista who has just the brain there. He's kind of like how Sergio Busquets was for Barcelona when Barcelona was doing their thing.
Hmm.
He's reliable and classy, and you're seeing what happens now. Haaland's still putting in goals. You don't have that control in the midfield anymore.
Yeah, no, it's that's precisely what happened. Is the center backs were kind of left exposed, and it was just a slop show at the back. And some really poor goalkeeping from Ederson, which was surprising. But oh well, it happens. It happens to the best of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a messy team right now. Bayern and PSG. That was a pretty damn good game until the red card. That
Who
was
got the
going.
goal? Him?
Yeah, it was. What's his name? The keeper made a mess of it. Donnarumma was benched this game. I guess he's potentially on the market here because this other keeper, even though he definitely fumbled that one, he was pretty awesome today. He made a lot of great
Safonov
stops.
looks like.
Yeah,
See the guy?
yeah, the Russian guy. Yeah, he was good. Yeah, and
Oh
then
no.
Dembele just, I think it was the announcers try to cover up the fact that it was a soft call, but it was his second yellow, so he got sent off.
Gotcha.
Right, yeah, they got that. I actually like what PSG's doing this year as opposed to what they've done in years past, um, where they just like put a bunch of big names out there. They got a lot of young guys that are playing really well, and Vitinha looked great today. So I'll
Martinez be
say that.
a good
Yeah,
player.
yeah,
I will
yeah,
say,
Vitinha.
ever since like Mbappe left, it seems like all right, they're not just going to try and buy some like star-studded team. They're trying to actually build it. So you never know. In
Yeah,
a couple years, they might actually become a more solid.
I mean,
Who
dude,
knows?
Barcola, Neves is awesome. Vitinha, Zaire Emery, Ruse is a classy player. I mean,
Emery's good, yeah.
yeah, they have some classy players there. All right, let's see what else. What's the next game? Bada boom, bada boom. Inter, Leipzig. I mean, I feel like Inter dominated the game, but they just kind of
Yeah,
sat
I
on
missed
it.
this one.
They just got cozy, sat on it, and that was it. So they have not a lot of goal. They're in first place right now in the table. And they have not a lot of goal in the entire Champions League so far. That's a proper
Awesome.
Italian team. Absolutely
It's
Wow.
beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah, Barcelona just
Barcelona's been looking really good this season.
yeah, they really are. They destroyed Brest.
Yeah, they're
Leverkusen
in
destroyed
first place
Salzburg.
in La Liga right now.
Yeah, they. I don't think there's a lot of blowouts here, man. This new format's definitely conducive to many a blowout. Sporting got popped by Arsenal, and then Atalanta made us proud by taking it to some young boys with CDK going off, going absolutely
Yeah, they
off.
got
That
some
was great.
great instincts going on. They really complement each other, and it really shows.
That's Gasparini's. That's the Gasparini touch, man. That's not exactly the
Yeah,
correct
that's his
formation,
claim to
but yeah,
fame for sure. He
yeah,
just plug and play people into that system, and man, he makes it work.
yeah. It's amazing. They lose guys, and he just fills them in with somebody else, and they do a great
Yeah,
job.
they almost always too. If you watch how like their seasons go, they either start on fire or they start slow, and then they slowly but they always catch it towards like the mid slash end of the season. The thing is, Atalanta's looking good now, so
Yeah.
who knows? They might actually have a great season.
Well, look at this. Look at this leaderboard here. Inter in first place. Liverpool though does have a game in hand, but Inter has not allowed a goal. They have not lost a game. Liverpool has only allowed one goal and has not lost a game. Atalanta has not lost a game and only allowed one goal. So
That's so rare for a Gasparini
yeah,
team to only allow one goal.
yeah, I know, I know. It's dude, they're doing great. And Monaco's
Hey,
got
we
a
got
game
two
tomorrow.
Serie A teams though in the top there, which is
Beautiful,
fantastic.
absolutely beautiful.
And
And
as long
and
as Juve doesn't bottle it, coming up, they should be safe too.
look at our teams down
Yeah, but I mean, you guys got a game though. So like when Juve plays
here.
tomorrow, so if Juve gets 3 points, they're
Yeah.
at 10. Right, they're at
Well,
10
yeah, we'll
points.
be
They're
tied.
right.
Yeah, we'll be tied with Brest.
Keep going up though. Keep going up though.
Yeah,
It takes they'll be tied with anybody from fifth place.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's true.
Juve's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got to get past the ferocious Aston Villa. We'll see. Hopefully, we run Weah as a striker. But yeah, it's interesting. And then here, look at the toilet bowl here: Leipzig, Bologna, and PSG. Man,
that's
it's
amazing that
it's
PSG is down there.
yeah, it's gonna take a minute for them to really retool after having their star-studded roster. Real Madrid's stinking it up too. So
Yeah, they've hit a really poor vein of form recently.
they have. Well, they have the Mbop.
Yeah, Hanson
Mhm.
Mbop curse.
Mhm. Mhm.
Who else
I
we
don't know
got
how
from
there's
that
so
one?
many stars on that front line.
Oh,
Yeah.
on Madrid. Yeah, yep,
Just it's just mind blowing, and honestly, they don't really complement each other every
no.
single game. They don't have consistency. They don't have rhythm.
No.
This is what happens when you bring Mbappe into a team where he has to play striker. He's not a striker. Like I know he can play there just because he's a good player. Mbappe is a winger or a second striker, and the problem is he should be playing where Vinicius is playing, but you're not going to bench Vinicius. So it's really just a personnel issue, and they bought a guy that didn't need. If they would have went out and just broke the bank on like Erling Haaland, Real Madrid's a different beast because that's the type of player they need.
Yeah, they needed an actual striker. Yeah.
That'd
But
be pretty wild to bring Erling over there.
Exactly.
Mbop on a free. I mean, it's not so bad.
Yeah, I mean it's free, but
It's
his
not so
salary is
bad.
as much as like a million transfer fees. So
It's true. Yeah, that is true. All right, cool. Well, that's that.
he
Let's
makes 31 million a year,
who
is what they're
does?
saying. Is Mbappe? That's his
Mbop.
salary.
My God.
That's a transfer fee every year for somebody.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's just wild.
Good for him.
That's wild. Yeah, good
for
for him.
for
I agree.
somebody
Let him
who
do.
kicks the ball.
Yeah,
Amazing.
he kicks the ball.
Although the prices have ruined a lot of the game because
Yeah.
a player, they make one big transfer in their life, their life is now set. A lot of times you just don't see them really care or give too much of a crap. Only people like Ronaldo who actually wanted to be really great, you see him
Yeah,
grinding. You know,
I
like you
agree.
see a lot of people just coast once they get paid their big bag. And problem is you're getting a bag at like first signing now.
Yeah.
Tommaso Pobega is making millions of dollars a year. That's a problem.
Yes,
Seriously,
that's
the guy's
very
not a
big
talented
problem.
player, but he's making multi-millions. It's, I
I
mean,
know. If I could go
this is an
back and
issue.
do it again, if I could go back and do it.
Did
Oh my God. Yeah,
we miss
it's
any
insane.
games?
No, I think the.
Leverkusen and Arsenal, right? They smoked their teams 5-0 and 5-1. So
Oh jeez. Well, let's see who's coming up. Yeah, let's see who's coming up tomorrow here. Liverpool, Real Madrid. Well, what a battle! What a battle! A classic
that'd be
teams
great.
there.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Juve,
yeah,
Aston Villa.
yeah. This is a team that I think in the last cast I said, I'm absolutely terrified of this game, and I'd have never been terrified in the past of Aston Villa. I don't care how many injuries we have. We should dominate this team.
Yeah,
Our starting lineup looks fine. I mean, like everyone's freaking out about the injuries. It's like our starting lineup would be the same, besides
minus
Vlahovic
the
and
striker. Yeah,
Bremer. Yeah, I mean, and we've been our defense has been just fine without Bremer. It's really the striker that's the main problem. But everyone says Vlahovic sucks so much ass. So I don't know what Hey, big deal then. Let's start Weah. Vlahovic is just so bad. We don't need him. And then Bologna
I
Lille
think
is actually an
Juve.
interesting. Go ahead.
I think Juve is another one of those teams that is missing some sort of a key player to coordinate to set Vlahovic up. Um, I know
One
Yildiz does a great job, but I just feel like they're missing a key component player there.
100%. My big complaint
midfield.
is that was supposed to be Coop Miners, and he's just not that guy. He's not a focal point. He's like a link up guy. Like when the engine's turning, he's running around and
Right, but he's not going to go
yeah,
from like zero to 100 on his own, right?
yeah,
And which is a pretty special player to find,
it
but he's
is.
not that guy.
Yeah, well, a lot of teams that are running that formation because we're running that the same formation as every single team, basically the 4-2-3-1. A lot of teams that are running that formation are running a second striker in that attacking midfield
Yes,
role.
it's because
And
there's no real trequartista around these days. There just isn't.
right, no, there isn't. Yeah, absolutely not. So
The best one at it is probably Bruno Fernandes.
yeah, you think he's
He's
the best
probably.
one?
I mean, I can't pick anybody better. Jude Bellingham is good, but he's not really a true attacking mid.
Yeah, he's not.
I
Yeah,
mean, who can you really say is like
like a
a
creative
true attacking
attacking.
mid?
Yeah,
I think it's really just Bruno Fernandes. He can pass, he can shoot, he can create, he can take free kicks. Like it's literally like, he is like a classic trequartista. He
I
did, I
agree.
believe, grow up in Serie A, right? He was at Sampdoria or something like that, way back in the day.
Was he
I
Bruno
can't remember where he was
Fernandez?
at. He
Let's
was
see.
somebody, or he was somewhere else in Serie A, I'm pretty sure.
Look at that smile there. What a charming fellow. Udinese, Sampdoria. You're right.
Sampdoria, baby. Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
Yeah, Novara Udinese, Sampdoria.
See, he grew up in Italy where they actually used to play trequartista back then,
Yep.
but now there's just no trequartistas, and that I mean, yeah, it would solve you his issue, but who's around? I don't think anybody
Who's
plays that
around?
real role anymore.
No, no. So and then what's the other? This Bologna Lille game I'll watch as well tomorrow.
That'd be interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bologna, Lille, Madrid, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Juve, and I think actually Monaco, Benfica is going to be a good game. I probably won't
yeah.
watch it, but that's probably gonna be a good game.
That'll be a good game. Yeah, that's another one I'll probably just watch the highlights on that one. But I'll actually I'll watch the Juve live and I'll go back and watch Bologna Lille. And I have to watch Liverpool Real Madrid. I'm sure that'll be a interesting
So
one.
if you're going to place some bets, where are you guys leaning towards, say,
For those games,
Oh
Juve
yeah,
and
okay.
Aston Villa?
I think
all right,
Juventus is
we
going to
can
win
start at the top,
1-0.
right?
Juve's winning 1-0.
Okay.
And that's not just being a homer. I predicted Juventus to lose 2-0 to Milan. Okay, so
Yeah.
I think they're going to
I
beat Aston
like the
Villa.
1-0. I do too. I think Juve's gonna win it. They could tie. It's either gonna be 1-0 or 2-1. I think they're gonna pull it off.
I don't think we're going to
But
score that
still
many
with the
goals.
W.
Still with the W. I have faith they're gonna pull this game off. It's
All right.
maybe I can't even see the two goals because I don't know where it's gonna come from. It's gotta come from like Yildiz or something like that because they don't have they don't really if they play the way that they played against Milan, they're not putting goals past
I
anybody.
mean,
Maybe they'll get one. Maybe.
that's how we play, baby. I mean, I don't mind it, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but you also got a striker who like yes he's not like amazing at all times, but he can vary when goals. His record was about 7 goals, something like that in Syria. It's not
Vlahovic
terrible at all.
six.
Vlahovic, yeah,
Six, three of them have been
6. So yeah,
PKs.
and he's got some goals in Champions League or no?
He has two in Champions League. Yes, they were against Leipzig. It was an excellent performance from him
Yeah, yeah,
when he
Leipzig and
wants
then
to.
Yildiz is good.
Yeah, I think that it's just if they start McKennie again. Well, actually, no, McKennie's injured now too, so they're gonna start way
You
up
got to start
top.
way out, man. You got
Yeah,
that way. You have an actual counterattacking threat because he's got pace. You got to have
yeah,
way out.
that's what I think too. He's fast and he at least moves and runs.
He's bagged a couple goals the past few games too.
Yeah,
So like,
he's
why
got
don't you
three
play it? Why don't
goals.
you play the hot hand? You
He's
know,
got half as many goals as Vlahovic, and he's played like a third of the minutes. So
hey,
yeah,
play
let's
the
give
hot
him some
hand.
out. Yeah, exactly.
Um,
What do you guys think? 2-1.
Madrid, Liverpool,
All right, Shane.
or
What's your
actually Shane.
prediction?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I think Salah's gonna smash some. You know, your boy Virgil is always on the inside for headers in the box. I feel like I think it's gonna be 3-2 Liverpool.
I like it.
I
That's gonna
like
be
it
my
too.
final.
I like it. Yeah, I'm not
I'm
going to
gonna go
argue with that.
3. Yeah,
3-1.
I like that. I think that Liverpool's gonna get out to like a 3-1 lead or something, like 3-0 or 3-1 or something like that, 2-0. Madrid's gonna come back late, but it's not gonna be enough.
Mhm.
They always have like a late flourish. Uh, Want to do Bologna Lille last?
Yes.
'Cause the other
Yeah.
games, who knows?
Yeah. So that'll be the last one.
Predictions for Bologna Lille.
1-1.
I mean, they better win. 1-0,
I
Yeah.
know.
whatever. They better win
Yeah.
handily.
2-1.
Do your
Bologna
job.
is gonna pull it off, but my gut tells me it's gonna be a 2-2 game. But I would like Bologna to win 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Italiano, get it together, man.
I know.
You know. All right. Milan Bratislava. I turned the game off at 3-1. I didn't actually see Bratislava score another goal. I'm like,
It was a banger. It was an
was it
absolute
really?
banger. Yeah,
Man,
it was a great goal.
man, that's surprising. But yeah, it looked like they had it in hand. They took
Yeah,
control. Yeah.
they weren't gonna get 2 goals scored on them in the last.
No. No, they were getting
I
hit on
mean,
the
they scored
counterattack a
it.
couple times, but in my opinion, I mean, you got to play with the high line against the Bratislava team.
Bratislava definitely in the first half outplayed Milan and should have scored a couple goals. They
Hmm.
Magnan did a good job. They also got lucky. Pavlovic made one good
Yes,
recovery,
he did.
but he was also partially at fault. Him and
Oh yeah,
Tor were partially at fault for that happening. But he did make a really good recovery, so I give him props for that.
yeah.
I don't know, Shane. What do you think of the game overall?
Honestly, I missed it. I was too busy today, but I plan on hitting the highlights and maybe watching the full stream. But I am very glad to see that. I think honestly, I think Leao's a superstar, but I feel like he doesn't put enough effort to do the footwork and make himself where he should be. And I feel like at times he can trickle in some of his specialties in the games, and I'm glad to see that he is one of the people that scored. Pulisic handles it like he always does. I mean, he's kind of like a guaranteed 1 goal per game almost. And then who's the third one that scored? Abraham.
Abraham, yeah.
Yeah.
Abraham, like
Kind of a
the
sloppy goal, but he got it done and it turned out to
I
actually be a
mean,
pretty important goal.
the defensive player passed it. They were trying to get it out of the box.
Yeah,
He
and
like
pass right
just
to him.
turned around and passed it right to him.
Yeah, and like the goal was he kind of hit it at the keeper, with the keeper but bumbled it a little bit and went through.
Yeah, it
But
was even a bad shot too.
yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't a
so
great shot.
it was the gift
I
of all gifts.
I'm a fan of Abraham's instincts. I feel like he's got like the fast twitch kind of good vision for the box, and I think
He's a
it's
pretty tidy player for a big guy. He has a lot of like link up play. He likes to do some like slick passing. He's a much more slick
Mhm.
player than I thought. And honestly, as a last minute deadline day, just free loan transfer, whatever it was it wasn't some great like investment from them. It was a good last minute pickup for an extra striker, but he's always injured a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's solid. He's gonna be better than like he's better than Morata because he's a point man, but Morata is a harder worker. So ideally, you kind of want to play them together sometimes, but then you can't fit layout. The team is just not well built. Um,
Yeah.
which you kind of see right there. It's like there's a bunch of pieces there that could work, but there's no real system for playing.
Yeah, I mean, Chukwueze was kind of poopy today too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Leao
he
though he's definitely lazy. I think someone said on X like describe Leao, and I said lazy, disinterested, prima donna, world class.
yeah, I
he's
wouldn't
got
give him
he's got the
world
attitude
class
like
because of that.
he's got the attitude like he's on his way out, kind of like almost in like the retirement. I did my duty, but
Yeah,
like
that's always how he is,
he
though.
hasn't hit his peak. He hasn't.
Yeah,
He has the tools, but he hasn't accelerated to that absolute pinnacle.
You got to put in the work, man. He's got
You
all the
have to.
talent in the world to do it, and he doesn't want to work for it. If
but
he
it
had
goes
like
back to what I was saying
Ronaldo's
about
work
the cash.
ethic, yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Like
What?
this is what tells you about these guys. He makes a great deal of money, but he's distracted because as he thinks he's just like world's badass. He has like a fashion line. He makes rap music. He does a bunch of things outside of the. He's not obsessed with the game. He never
Right.
works on his shooting because it never improves. He gets in so many good positions, and if he could bury, he would actually become world class. His pace is probably better than anybody in entire Serie A, but his close
Yeah.
control dribbling could be better because he's probably not doing the work. So those are two areas that if he actually improved his close control dribbling and shooting, he would be world class, but he doesn't care. Because
He
if
wins
you think
almost
about it,
every one-on-one.
yeah, he's good enough already. He's good enough to come in, he can change a game on his own if he feels motivated, and he gets paid millions and he's already good enough. So yeah, I don't think he has the desire to be a world class player. And you know what? It's unfair for me to expect that from everybody because maybe he doesn't give a crap about it. He makes a great living, he plays, he has fun.
Yeah.
Like I can't blame him really. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not my style. I'd want to drive for the end, but that's the team. If they're okay putting up with that, great. If they're not, gotta move on.
he's just doing his
He's
job,
good.
man.
He's he's not great, and you really see the greats in the early 2000s of Milan. You see how much they will die to get that ball, and
Yes.
Leao just kind of like shucks it off, and you're like, I mean, you could have done more.
Yep,
Well, that's why
he does not
Fonseca's
bleed for
giving
the
him
team.
shit. And Fonseca's not wrong. You know,
He's not.
and it's like you're trying to motivate your best player to like
Yeah,
actually
he's
give a
benched
shit.
him a number of times, and,
Yeah,
and
good.
honestly, I mean, I can't say it didn't work because the past like several weeks, Leao's been a lot better. Like he's actually come on, he's scored
Yeah.
goals almost each game. He's looked a lot better, and even though he's disinterested half the game, he still scores or has an assist every game right now. So he's been a lot better the past several weeks.
Well,
But
on that note, okay, guys, you have you've seduced some
well, hold
Saudi
on, I
businessman.
gotta talk about the game because I actually got to see most of this game.
Oh, okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so defense. I don't know why they run Tamori Pavlovic. These are error-prone defenders, and they do not complement each other very, very well. Right? It's not the way to go. You need to be running Gabi Tamori nonstop because they pair well with each other, and that has to be your consistent lineup. Stop changing and running Tiao, then Pavlovic, then Gabi, then Tamori. I think maybe Gabi was unwell because he came back from injury like pretty quickly last game, and he seemed a little bit off like towards the end of it. But maybe that was the reason. But I just don't like seeing that combo. I don't think they pair well together. Pavlovic is guaranteed to give you 2 to 3 mistakes a game. He saved one, which was great, but then he was caught out a couple other times as well. I don't like that center back pairing, and in my opinion, if they're playing together, you got to run a 3-man and put Pavlovic at left center back because he's way less error prone there. That's what I'd like to see if you're going to play that guy.
I like it. I like it.
Midfield, does not work. Fofana's been playing okay. He's not a true D mid in my opinion. He's good, but he's not a true regista and he's not a true ball winner. He's kind of a little bit of each, but he's not great at either. I would love to have seen him with an actual regista next to him. Reinders needs to be more free. You got to give that guy more freedom, and that means you cannot be playing left ass cheeks because that guy wants to go forward too much, and it makes Reinders have to hold back too much. Reinders is a talent. You got to free him up, which means you got to put a guy behind them. So once again, the midfield is built terribly. Pulisic, he's kind of the man for Milan. At this point, he's the only guy who tries every single game and makes something happen. Morata, Tammy, they're both solid, but they're neither of them are truly what Milan needed. They needed a real investment in a striker, and Leao, we kind of talked about it. So that's the lineup right now. The game wise, you shouldn't be doing 3-2 against Bratislava, but Milan's in a pretty rough way. They're getting by. They're just making it work, but there are a couple losses, a couple draws off of being out of every competition.
Yeah.
So
I
what
mean,
what
I'm
kind of formation
surprised.
do you think would benefit with Milan? Like, how do you think their formation could be better from what they're using right now?
100% a 3-man back line. There's two ways to run it. You either go 3-4-3 or you go 3-5-2 based on who you're going to bring in. It eliminates the danger of having a guy like Pavlovic as a center back. It eliminates the danger of having Emerson Royale back there or Calabria. You now can play Gabia, Pavlovic,
Are
and
you watching
Tamori.
my stream, Michael?
Yep, yep. And
Okay.
then this would solidify a lot of that mid.
Yeah. So how do you do it?
Because it kind of so if you run the 3-5-2, then I actually think you run You unfortunately we don't have that true D mid, so it's probably not the best.
I
You
mean,
can run
why
Fofana.
wouldn't you run this?
Reinders is just too restricted there. I
He
would love it if he could
is,
kind of push up. It's okay, and this is probably the best way to run it for now.
but he has
Um,
three. So like in attack, you're in your very typical. Okay, you're in your very
yeah,
typical.
you got to have Royale stay back.
Every team's running this now, right? Every team's running the 3-2-5 attack, right?
In
So
attack, you got to slide like
this is
Fofana
okay.
playing back.
Yeah,
It's
this
okay.
is
Yep, you
this
gotta hang
because
Royale back a little bit
you
too in
still
this.
have your three you still have your four guys kind of hanging back, three especially. And then this guy can you
Yeah,
know
and
he's
Tamori
supposed to
has
destroy.
actual pace. Tamori
Yeah,
has actual pace. He can
yeah,
catch on.
and this wouldn't be ass cheeks. Obviously, this would be what
Yeah, he'd
like
be Pavlovich.
Pavlovich or Tao.
Pavlovich, yeah, yeah. I think you got to run Pavlovich. He actually is a pretty aggressive player. He'd be perfect
Yeah, so
because
okay,
if he
you run it
makes
like
up, you got
this.
Gabio to clean up the mess.
Yeah. So that Reinders is less is more free here than he is in the formation you guys are running now because, you know, you're you're in a situation where you're like this, this guy's up here, so he's got to be back like this now because this is your right back.
Yeah, I guess
So
so because you have three center backs who should just be
yeah,
sitting back. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Because
so
a lot of
that's
teams will
probably the
drop
way
it.
to run it.
Yeah,
And
I
he
like
he
it.
actually did run it. He actually did run it this way. Fonseca did it, and actually played very well. And what I like is if you go back to that, I'll kind of give you the current personnel that it should be. Replace Emerson Royale with Musa because he was a very good wingback. He's got a ton of pace. He can attack, and he's a better defender than Royale because he's more he's more feisty.
He's
Musa.
got
That's
money
how
in
it
the
should be.
bank.
Royale should just literally sit his ass on the bench. It's a joke.
All right, Fofana.
That's
Boom.
kind of how we should run it right now to get the best results out of this.
Yeah, and then you got Leao, Pulisic. I
Pulisic,
mean, you can even
Morata,
go. You can even do stuff like this. I mean, Pulisic can play,
100%.
can cheat inside, play more free.
100%. Then you kind of have like a pseudo 3-5-2 or like a 3-4-1-2, which would be
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
and when Leao gets
Pulisic can be more
lazy,
free.
yeah, when
Sit him up top.
he just stands over there anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Murata
he
and well, this also goes with your strikers because you got Tammy and you got Murata, and they both come back, and this works very well
They
for
do.
this.
Yep.
These overlaps work great. So I don't know. It's got a lot of play, baby. I like it.
It is definitely the way to do it without making a single signing right now to get through the rest of this portion to bring it in. It has to
Yeah.
be a three-man back line. I've been saying it for a while. He ran it once, and they did very, very well. The team looked pretty dang controlled.
Yeah, I think you're right. I like it. Oh, I
Yeah,
like
I
three
like
man
it.
backline anyway. All right. So now
Yeah, I
here's the
think that's
question.
kind of the way to go for that.
You get to the end of the season. You've seduced a Saudi billionaire to buy the team for
Maldini is
you.
back.
No, you're Maldini now. Now we got Michael and Shane in there snapping guys in the bath in the locker room with the towel,
Oh,
telling them step it up or get out.
dang. Well,
You know,
if you snap later with the towel, he might cry and he might leave. So
he
be
might
careful.
he's gonna dive. Take
Yeah.
a dive.
He's
That
gonna go
guy's
take his fashion degree elsewhere.
yeah, he will. He's got a degree.
He's
Oh
gonna
wow,
he's gonna hang out. No, I'm just making it up. But he's probably gonna go hang out with Lewis Hamilton.
he will. Yeah, him and
Uh,
Lewis are gonna hang out and make rap tunes. All right, so what do you do? What's your first
Shane, you want to
axe?
go first here and kind of see like I don't know if you thought about it as I've like done this stuff so many times it's like second nature to me. But a lot of changes have happened, so it'd be interesting to do it now because I would have made a lot of changes this past summer. What about you, Shane? Any thoughts or any people that you say I'd love to see that guy on Milan. I'd love to see this guy off Milan.
I think saying sayonara to Leao would be probably beneficial, and I think someone that complements the team would probably be a little bit more appropriate. And I think Teao he does such a great job in being a midfielder, and he's got grit, he's got hustle, and really pushes the ball. Who would I throw in Leao's spot? Hmm, Kessie, huh?
Cassier. I miss that guy. That guy was an awesome player for Milan, that's for sure. But no, I think a player like that to go with the Fofana. I think you get two beefcakes in the middle. Fofana's,
Hmm.
he can play the ball a bit. What do you think, Mike? What are
It's,
some
I mean, it's
recommendations?
if you eliminate Leao, which I think is fine, the risk is you have to replace it properly, and I don't trust
Yeah.
RedBird to replace him properly. So even though I would probably have, so this past summer, when Cavara was going to leave before Conte went there because Conte was mainly linked with Milan, but Milan eventually was like, we don't want him because obviously they can't handle
Milan's
that
going
type
to
of
pay
personality.
70 to 80 million dollars for Cavara.
If you sell Leao. But I'm saying that's what I would have done last season. I would have changed the formation to a 3-5-2. I would eliminate the wingers, tuck Pulisic inside, and then I was gonna actually. That was back when Xerxes was playing well, but obviously he's not having a great season at Man U. I still think he'd be good in Serie A, and I would have gotten Kvaratskhelia. They're basically a straight swap price wise. Now they'd probably be a little different, and that was when he was wanting to leave. That's before Conte went there. Now Conte's there. I don't think he's leaving. So that whole plan has got to kind of be scrapped. For Milan, I would really focus on midfield. I think midfield is where they lack, and I would probably get one actual center back.
Tonali,
Couple things I would
baby.
do.
Tonali.
100% the move to make is to get back Tonali. There's been some rumors that Loftus Cheek could have a market value in England. You could get rid of him if you did offload like some other big players. We even have guys like Benacer who's injury prone and he's got to go now. Although when he's healthy, he's our best midfielder, but he's never healthy anymore. He's got a bunch of value still. Um, RLC gone, Benacer gone. Let's see who else could go. Royale gone. I
If
would
you
just
had to
take
bring an
whatever you get for him.
Italian into the midfield, who would it be?
Tonali 100%.
Oh,
I
Tonali
would
all the
bring him
way.
back. He's the darling of Milan. That's where he should have always been. He is destined to be the captain. He already said he wants to come back in the future. You just make it happen. But Redbird, I don't think they would eat their own crow. I don't think they would do it. They're too prideful to admit their mistake.
Get Ricci.
Plus,
Ricci.
100%. The other guy is Ricci. So if you can't bring in Tonali, you bring in Ricci. And if you have Ricci, Fofana, Reinders, your midfield is way better
Yeah,
than,
that's
than it
good.
is without him.
Yeah.
Now you have a
Yeah.
real midfield. You've got a controlled, composed character in Ricci. You got a jack of all trades in Fofana who's physical, and then you have Reinders who can actually be free. Now
Yeah.
you've got a real midfield.
Yeah. Okay. How do we get Fonseca on the phone?
You actually just eliminate Fonseca from there because he's a not a coach from Milan caliber.
Yeah,
You get rid of
who's
the
the
guy.
coach now? Who are you hiring as your coach, guys? You going bringing
Both of
back
my coaches are gone,
yeah. Are
so
you bringing
that's great.
Allegri in or Mancini?
Not for this thing. Now, if you want to save the
Mancini,
season, you
baby.
bring in Allegri.
Yeah.
If you want to save this season, you play boring football and you bring in Allegri. But from we're talking about for like if you actually want to change the team a little bit, it's really difficult. I don't love a lot of the coaches that are out there because I wanted either Mota or Conte, but they're both gone. I would say you could get by with like a De Zerbi. It's possible.
Oh God, you're
He's.
gonna leak goals, dude, like crazy.
I know. I know.
You're gonna like
Yeah. I
all
mean,
games will be you're gonna get scored on 2 to 3 times a game, so you need to
you've
score
got
more goals.
Sauri, who's also good too, but I mean, he's not a lockdown guy either. There's not the ideal coach for me out there, anyways. Conceição is a good coach from Porto, but I don't know how he'll adapt to elite. Probably fine, but
What about Jose Mourinho, baby?
I think he's done for a big team like this.
Yeah.
I think he's done for a big team. Yeah, I don't think he's going to have success at any
I just don't think
really
he's gonna
solid.
handle the modern egos.
Um, Defense, Milan blew their chance twice. They blew their chance with Calafiori for 5 million about
Yep.
seasons ago. They then blew
Big
their
mistake.
second chance on not getting Buongiorno at the beginning of the season, which they've been linked with him for 2 years now.
Big
Big
mistake.
time this past year. And now look, they decided to save 10 mil and buy Pavlovic, and
Yep.
Buongiorno is the best defender in Serie A.
Yep.
Go look.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
They really
but
screwed
there
that
are
up.
players out there who are like, who are starting to become promising, right? There's guys like Kamutsu is having a good season. There's guys you
Yeah.
could consider bringing in, right, and kind of come back in the fold.
I don't think there's
Um,
very many good center backs in the world, anyways. And if you look at what Fiorentina's
there's not.
doing with freaking Ranieri and Komutso, you should really take a step back and look at your how much
Yeah,
money you're spending on your center backs. I mean, look what happened at Juventus. Like Bremer goes down, and everyone starts freaking out like he's some amazing, the world's greatest defender. And dude, we had a couple games where Moto freaked out himself and changed our whole style of play, and then he just went right back to what he was doing, and we're right back to where we were of not letting goals in. It's like just covering up with midfield, man. That's what all these teams do, anyways.
Yep.
All these defenders suck now. Every feature I hear when someone's telling me how great this new defender is, it's like, oh, he's so good going forward, so good going forward. You know, what was the stat for Bastoni? Someone posted on X. They said he has the most progressive runs in Europe. I said, oh, I go. Not
Yeah.
only is who's the nerd that's counting those? That's watching the games counting progressive runs on a little got a little checklist.
Yeah. Like, since when was that a stat you should be
What?
caring about for a defender? I mean,
Yeah,
what the
what
heck?
stat is that? Yeah, it's weird. So who are you bringing in here to replace Pavlovich,
I
dude?
would totally consider Kamutsa, but honestly, what I would do, because I would, if we're offloading layout, it's time to actually make some signings. RedBird has the money. You should need to offload guys like Benacer. You need to offload Loftus Cheek. These guys are
You
all
do.
worth 20-ish mil. Layout's worth anywhere from 70 to 90 to 100 based on how he's going. There's so many people to get rid of. Emerson Royale, like, there's so many people. I honestly wouldn't even mind getting rid of Musa. He's a good little player, but if you get a good deal, go for it.
Yeah, he's a
So you
guy
have a
you keep on the
ton
back.
of
You know,
money.
keep on the
Yeah,
bench.
he's fine. He's young too, so
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with it.
So if you're looking at
But
this lineup here, you're looking at
I think
one,
you get the
two,
Italian
three.
core back.
Oh, you
And
have to.
if it was me, I know that the ship has semi sailed, but I would probably still try to go get a guy like Calafiore back. He seems like he is tailor made for Milan in that left center back position because he's very skillful, play that position great. He's very technical. He's a Milan style player, right? You bring Tonali back, you bring Calafiore in. That's now you have a really good core, and Milan is starting to look back again. You then try to get back some type
You
of
now
winger
have three Italians on the team.
and you bring in a fourth. You bring in a guy like Bellanova for that right wing back position.
Bellanova's having a very good season.
Yep, but he's not untouchable and he's not crazy expensive.
Right. Yeah,
So
that's an excellent
you
pickup.
could even look at like Parisi if Teo leaves for your left wing back who's not crazy expensive, not getting a lot of game time. He'd be great in that wing back role because he's more attacking,
Yeah.
right? So those are the ones you can look at.
That's what Parisi's struggle is. Parisi's a wing back,
Yes,
and he's not a left
you,
back. Yeah.
I would also be bringing back Daniel Maldini. They have a 50% buyback clause, so they can easily do that. He needs to be kind of playing with the team. You need to give Toriani more minutes. You need to give Camarda more minutes.
Liberale.
I would like to yeah, exactly start working him in the field, and I would actually probably I don't know the deal with Adli, but I would bring Adli back as well. He'd be great to alternate in that
He's just
midfield.
on a loan. Yeah, they can snag him back.
Exactly. So these are guys you can easily get back. You want to spend a ton of cash on it as well. And if you are offloading some big players, they can play the role. That Jimenez
Who's your
in our
striker,
Primavera
dude?
is good as well.
Who's your
That's the
striker?
big issue right here. That's the big issue right here. And actually, one final thing: if you do get rid of Leao and you need somebody who can play out wide or in that second striker role because Pulisic can't play every game, the man to go for is Chiesa because he's not expensive. He's not having a great time in England. You bring him back on a cut price deal, and he's at the very least going to be an awesome sub, if not a starter.
Oh yeah,
It's a,
Queso was only
it's a,
bought for
it's a
12 million. His
right, and
price
he's not
didn't
doing
go
well there
up.
right now,
No.
so he's not getting game time. So he's not going to be more than that. He might be less. So this is the time. I
Yeah,
think you kind of strike a deal with them. You can get a player back, and he probably want to rediscover his form in Italy. Great, go for it.
I think he's only like 26, 27 too. He's not even old.
He's not that old, so
No.
this is a way to kind of get the core back, right, while still keeping your kind of more top class foreign guys like your Fofanas, your Reinders, your Pulisic, right, your Teos. Like this is the
But
way
who's your
for me.
striker?
That's the issue. Who do you guys pick for striker?
Osimhen?
I'm it'd have to be foreigner or something.
You
Yeah.
can't get Osimhen, but that actually would be my
No, you
pick. But I
can't.
don't think you can spend
He's
that much money.
yeah. That's a hefty price tag.
I would honestly consider a guy like a Vlahovic if eBay sells him.
Oh yeah, he's up for sale. He's gonna be
I
cheap,
don't think
probably
he's going to
50
be
million
crazy
for him.
expensive.
No, he'll be 50.
Yeah,
We'll get
could be
50
that
for
or
him.
less. Um, who else is out there that's just looking good right
I mean,
now? That
Vlahovic in
Bony
this
guy's
setup would
looking
be
good.
excellent.
Yeah, that Bony guy's looking good, but I don't know if he's gonna. I wonder where the
Yeah,
value's going to be.
Xerxes still,
And
Xerxes got a problem. He's yeah, he's
yeah,
struggling. He's a big guy. You got like the Sesko infatuation. You got Bony
Sesko could be
Face.
strong too, especially if you have like Reinders and Pulisic feeding him right. That then Sesko could be very very good if he got.
Yeah, with these guys, I think you need a box presence that isn't totally slow and gumpy.
See,
Yeah,
that's kind of where I was at with Xerxes. So when I built my lineup before the transfer season, I wanted Xerxes. I really wanted Kavara next to him because that's a guy you can run because Xerxes will come back and create, and you needed somebody who also can score goals, which Kavara can. You can't really run him with like a layout. It's
right.
not good enough to kind of put those two together. So I don't know. I mean, Osimhen's the best shout, but I don't think he's affordable if I'm also spending on Tonali and Calafiori.
I like that Jimenez guy from Feyenoord.
I wonder if he translates
I think
there.
he's yeah.
I haven't
I don't know.
seen him in
He's probably not going to be expensive though. It's probably a small risk.
Santiago Jimenez. I think he's pricey.
Yeah, is he really?
Let me see. I mean, he's got
What's his
great stats.
transfer market web? Uh,
I'm,
I
I'm
mean,
looking at right now.
or like Nunez, although Nunez can't really score, but Nunez has a put the ball in the net problem. But
Yeah, he's too
so did
inconsistent.
Moist Keane. So did Moist Keane, and look at him now.
Oh, on a lot of the places I talked to, people were debating like, oh, like you could get him, Keane for cheap. Nobody wanted him, and they were totally willing to take Abraham. Like, why? Like Abraham's injury prone. Keane has a ton of time in front of him. He's young, and he's
Yeah,
gonna work his butt off every game.
yeah, dude. Keane's an awesome choice.
Santiago
What about
Jimenez is
Skamaka, dude?
23 years old.
Skamaka.
When's
Hold
he
on,
coming
what's that?
back?
Did you give up on Skamaka? He's coming
I
back
did.
soon.
I like
He had a great
Skamaka in a
season
in
last
a
season.
team. I like Skamaka in a team where it's already functioning, already flowing. If you have like a coach like Deserbi, yes, go and pick up Skamaka. If you have a hard nosed coach, he's just gonna go.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Is
true.
Retegi making Atalanta shine harder than Skamaka did?
Yes, he's got better
Yes.
teamwork.
Yeah.
Skamaka has all the tools in the world. He just has a very weak mind.
I mean,
He's like six something and he plays like not strong.
yeah,
It's weird.
Skamaka's actually like a way better player than Retegi, but he just has a way worse brain.
He's mega talented.
Yeah.
He's like doesn't have to try to have like good form or have a banging shot or great touch. He just has an awful mentality and he fades.
Yeah, the goals he was scoring last year there were some dirty goals. I mean, he's got some
Yeah,
amazing
he's
skills.
super talented guy.
Yeah.
Some people they can just do things. That's him,
Yeah.
and he's not even that slow for a big guy. He's talented. So
Yeah, he's just a softie.
some guys are like that.
Yeah.
Jimenez is 23 and his value is 40 mil. So he's not crazy
That
expensive, but he's also uh,
that's still risky for
cheap.
a guy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, you don't like Jonathan David?
On a free, yes.
He's on a
On
free.
not on a free, no. So yeah, I would totally take him for a free. And,
Yeah.
and I've never been a Jonathan David fan. It's like he just never impresses me, but he bags goals, and you can't deny that season after season. And for a free, yeah, why not? You got
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, I'd agree. So this
On a
is your
free, you can't go wrong with that.
who's your ultimate striker pick though right now?
Ultimate would be
Reasonable.
Osman, but you can't afford him.
Okay,
Reasonable.
reasonable. David.
I like the David, but honestly, I wouldn't even start him out. I would try to get an actual striker.
Yeah. You know,
Um,
you
but
need a
but
target
for
man
free,
kind.
look at your depth. Not now you have a guy who's actually good, who's a can start if you need him to, can sub if you need him to. That's what you definitely get David for free.
Yeah, for sure. But who you got? Sesko.
Yes. I like the Sesko choice, but he's going to be just as pricey as well. I mean, he's not super talented though. He's got a banging foot.
I'm not a
He's a
huge
bit of
fan
a
of him. I think other people are a bigger fan of him than I am. But
yeah.
he has his moments.
He has his moments. I mean, the problem is all the strikers right now are risk. They just are.
Well, Son from Tottenham is on a free. Did
It's
you
not
know that?
it's not like the true striker you need. But then again, though, if you have like this type of team, like shoving forward more, like you got a lot of good support now.
Yeah.
You can probably get by with like a not like top striker. But I mean, man, that they really could use it. I just don't know who that guy is right now.
Yeah, that's a very good. Well,
Like who are the world's top strikers? Let's look. Like, who's the best strikers in the world right
what's it? Haaland, Mbappe,
now? Yeah, but besides
Thuram,
Haaland,
Thuram from Inter. Don't forget that was a free as well. Where was he at? Borussia Dortmund when they signed him? You know,
Yeah, he was free.
he's free.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
man. You know, what's that team? Lyon. Lyon has to have a mass exodus here. You know, they got.
Who are the best strikers around? You have Holland for sure.
Mhm.
You've got like Lewandowski, who's still very very good. You've got
Yeah,
Harry Kane, but I mean all these guys are not going to
they're
be
not going
crazy.
anywhere. Yeah.
You got Mbappe, who I don't think is real like an actual striker. You got Bram. You got Osimhen, who would definitely be in the choice if you can.
Dude,
You
I'd go
got
in for Bonyface, man. I'd go in.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd go in for Bonyface. Why not?
yeah.
You really haven't spent that
Gyökeres, you
much
got
money at this point,
Alvarez,
dude.
right?
You have Bellanova, Calafiori, and Ricci. Those are the guys you brought in right now. Okay, you've
But
sold Leao.
I would
You've
bring back
sold
Tonali.
you've sold butt cheeks.
I think
Tonali's not
Tonali's
even
Yeah,
going
but you
for
still
like
got
Tonali's not
you got
even
Chiesa on
starting.
the left.
I think
He
Tonali
still
they
has
said would go for
Morata.
first tier
Still
left.
got
Yeah,
Pulisic. Still got Reinders.
yeah,
So I mean,
You do still
you
have
got
Mbappe.
your forwards.
yeah.
Yeah,
Tonal
you can make that work, and then if you bring in like a Jonathan David for a different look, you can make it work for a year until you have the opportunity to actually get like a really good striker. So you could just stick with this type of deal here.
Yeah, I would
Morata
run
and
that.
David, right?
See what happens.
Yeah, I mean I don't love it. That's like a weak point of that attack. But I mean you bring back Maldini to sub for Pulisic. You start bringing up Liberai to get to sub behind Reinders, right? You kind of
You
start
got
integrating
Camarda.
these guys
Yeah.
more.
I
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
Kamada's
that
like a third string.
I think David's problem, why I don't love him in Serie A, is he is very good in the counterattacking environment or when there's a lot of space. When he's playing against teams that are loading up 10 guys in the box, he's there's no way he's going to have the presence to bury. I just don't. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't see that happening. I think he's great on a counterattacking team. I don't think he'd be very good on a team that's going to possess the ball against, you know, teams that are parking the bus.
Yeah, see, other top strikers right now is Victor Gyökeres.
Oh
There's
yeah, he's going to go for like 100 million.
Julian Alvarez.
I like him.
Yep, but he's
Colomwani on PSG.
Colomani
Uh,
was supposed to be a free transfer for Milan, but I think we wound up with Origi,
yes,
something like that.
great
It was
call.
something I don't know if it was the same season, but we definitely were linked with him when he was free, and they decided to not go for it. And oh look, yeah, it's so stupid. They passed on Turam on a free. Milan
Yeah,
passed on Turam on a
yeah.
free,
Everyone
and
passed
then
on
he said
Turam.
"F
Yeah,
you." No, but like he actually was ready to go, and
yeah,
they said he said "F you." I'm going to Inter now, and Inter paid him an extra like 500K or something. This is
yeah,
sweet. That's so ridiculous, man. Because Beppe loves frees. He just loves free transfers and
yeah.
whatnot.
He's smart.
And
He's old school.
I don't know what it is about Milan, but they hate free transfer. Like they hate high salaries. And I was like, if you didn't pay the transfer fee, go pay the salary.
It's
Who cares?
it's.
I think they're worried that they're gonna get stuck with the salary. But it's like,
I
who
think
cares? For
it's
five
a
years,
cash flow issue. It makes their
it
bottom
makes their
line
books
look
look worse,
better.
doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it does. So
Yeah,
that when they sell it, yeah, that's
I
and
think that's what it
that's
is. Because Elliot was the same way.
that's all it is, man. It's just that they're financial guys. They're not sports guys, and they don't care about any of that
It's
crap.
it's gotta be because they did it multiple times with like freeze, and they always chose like some like not expensive salary, but like a reasonable transfer fee. It's like, wait, why? It never made sense to me, but it's gotta reflect on the book somehow that I'm not understanding.
Yeah,
It's like if you
it's
pay 15 mil for Emerson Royale as a one-time transfer fee, but he makes 3 mil less than somebody. Well, in 5 years' time, that's equal.
yeah.
It just makes no sense.
Well, it's
So I
yeah,
don't know.
it's. I mean, these guys know how to make their books look good, so they can build the team up, make it look more profitable, and sell
Yeah.
it. That's all it is for them. They don't want to win shit. They have no notice here. I what did I post here
What's
talk for a
Villanova's
sec.
value right now?
Oh God, it's got to be like 15, 12 maybe.
20, 50, 20. I mean, yeah, his value's around 20. So I mean, if you have 20 on Bellanova, probably 50 on Tonelli. I know his value's dropped a little bit, so you're looking at 70 there, and then Calafiori probably similar, like what 40, 50, something like that.
Yeah. Calafiori?
Calafiori right
Calafiori
now,
is going to be more than
45.
50. No, Calafiori is going to be more than 50 at the end of this year. He was 50 million last year, and he's having a very good showing, so he's going to be at least
Yeah,
50. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you see how
Calafiore and Tonali are going to be your most expensive players by far. That's going to cost you 100 million.
depends on how he comes back from injury.
It's
Hopefully,
totally
well.
funded. I mean, you
So
can definitely fund it. I mean, you're getting rid of.
120 for four guys, and you offload Leao, who covers most of that, and I'm sure they could put in
Yeah.
like a 30 mil investment into the team, which is nothing. And then you offload these guys like
Well, you're
Benacer for
also get
whatever you can,
yes, you're getting rid of
RLC for whatever you
Benacer,
can,
RLC. Yeah, you're getting rid of some bums, dude. Here's what I
Emerson
posted on
Royale. I mean,
X.
there's
Here.
people you can sell.
I got some thumbs up for this, or I posted this on YouTube.
Shane, any of those guys that you're like, nah,
Shane had his
I'm not
computer
feeling
blew
those
up.
guys.
His computer blew up. He said.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah. So it says Juventus and Milan are on the same path. Juve is a couple years behind. Step 1, destroy the Italian soul of the team. Step 2, distract the fans with hype signings. Step 3, moneyball your team into profitable mediocrity while your fans make excuses for you. Boom.
Oh,
Take
that's
that.
definitely what's happening here. Like
Yeah.
they'll make
Yeah.
excuses for like even this performance against the Bratislava, which was
Mhm.
not a good performance. So well, they still won it. Like okay, it's fine.
You're never going to
The
affect
team
change
doesn't look good.
if you just take it up the butt. You can't just accept the crap they're serving you.
Yeah.
Like Ibrahimovic is. Do you really think he's a guy that knows how to build a team? He,
Absolutely not. Ibrahimovic just does not care. The only time that he might care is for a brief moment when his ego is hit because his team is losing, and then he'll forget about it and go make like an Instagram post, and then go travel somewhere, and then make
yeah,
another
dude.
another post. He just doesn't care in the same way that guys like Maldini care.
He
It's
was.
not.
He's a
Yeah, it's weird.
total prostitute. He hopped around
Yes.
from team to team. It was always about him. That's not the kind of guy that's gonna like be a great locker room presence. That's gonna mentor
Well,
people.
yeah, he's not going to mentor people going forward, especially when he's not playing. Now, when Ibrahimovic is playing, he entirely changed the whole dynamic of Milan. He was key to actually winning that Scudetto season. You brought in a real like actual guy who's like won multiple leagues everywhere he's went. He's won, I think,
Well, you brought a guy with some grit. Yeah,
yeah, and a guy who's
yeah,
like actually comes in with a true presence, and he totally changed that whole team around. Like
yeah.
like people even said, yeah, he was like my secondary coach with the team.
He was a very good player.
Yep,
He's
but
a
off the
very good
field,
player. No, he
all
is
of his
no
bad personality traits don't work.
no. He is not the kind of guy that you want to be running a team. No way. Absolutely not. That's a terrible choice. They just did it because
Agreed.
of that. And he's dude, he's a total prostitute. No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that
he's
guy's
got
got to go.
ego will serve you when you are a striker trying to score goals, and it will not serve you at all when you are trying to lead people. It's
Right.
not the way it goes. And you're trying to mentor people and them off the pitch. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. And you're seeing that right now. Like it wasn't a great choice. They tried to bring Ibra back because they thought it would soften the like Maldini firing blow. It didn't. And then you got these guys who like Moncada is a good scout, but only in France, right? He's not some
Mhm.
amazing like awesome scout. Furlani is a total just man. I have zero respect for that guy. He's just a weasel. Furlani's a weasel, and Cardinale just wants to make cash. Like honestly, I don't even have a problem with Cardinale because I know why he's here. He's just making cash. It's not like he has like some secret plan to like
Yeah, he's not
destroy
tricking
Milan.
you. He didn't try to trick you.
No,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
been very straightforward of what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Like they call it like an American team now. I think Furlani in one of his
Yeah.
interviews said it's an American team, like not Italian teams. Like
It
it was
is.
very strange, but
Yeah.
that's what they said. Like they're not trying to lie to you. Like they want to
Yeah.
build a stadium if they can get around like the red tape. They want to make a profitable team who can get top four, and they want to compete here and there in Champions.
Right.
That formula would make Milan nonstop money for their investors, and it would keep them good enough to keep the sheep fans happy. That's it. That's what they want.
I agree.
So I don't know. I mean, it's we kind of definitely like a more like a Milan style cast here, but there's not that many
Well,
changes you actually have to make. You just bring in a couple top class guys, you get a little bit of that Italian quarterback here and there, and your team is getting back already. It just takes one
yeah,
off
you
season.
guys
That's
aren't
it.
far away at
One.
all because you have class players in Teo, Reinders, Pulisic.
Magnan.
Magnan. You have
Like
class players. These are truly class players. They're gonna go on any major team and they'll play, no doubt about it. So that's a good thing that you guys got going on.
you
As
got to
far as
build now.
defense, yeah, yeah, but yeah,
It's
that's
time.
four players. You need to keep bringing in class players, and you don't need to bring in six sacks of crap. You need to bring in two or three really key pieces.
That's exactly right. And then you now have strengthened your depth by improving your starting lineup, and then you start actually bringing up these kids. Start playing
Yeah.
the Kevin Zerolis. Start playing the Liberales, the Camaras. Give them some minutes. Start playing Jimenez out wide. Start playing these guys. I mean, like
Well, it's a
these are
lot
actual
easier to
guys who
play
could
them.
become things.
What's a lot easier? Like here, hey, we got a game against Lecce. Here we go. Oh, look, and he's still surrounded by all these good players.
Yeah, you piece one or
That's
two in per game. You don't just
yes.
change your whole team to kind of accommodate. You put them with the starting lineup, and you put 1 to 2 youngsters in there, so they
This
have a
isn't
team
some
around.
new philosophy, too. This is how it was done for years when we used to actually groom and breed Italian talent. We stopped using this method and just started benching our kids and then loaning them out to clubs that aren't going to play them anyways. And then look what happened in the past decade, just a huge
Yeah.
lull of actual Italian talent. Actually, more than a decade now, but yeah, you
Yeah, they're
know,
finally coming back, but I fear with the growth rate coming back that if these
yeah.
teams stop doing it again, then we're gonna have a very short-lived renaissance. Like the teams looking good now. There's a lot of promising players finally, and if they stop doing it, then it's gonna be very short-lived again.
I agree. I no, I think it's inevitable. It's going to be short lived. That we have a tendency in Syria in Italy to just destroy our own national players before destroying somebody else. I think I said in the last one, like we'll give a new foreign
Hey, you get
signing
somebody from from France or from
a
wherever, like
year.
so many teams. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll withstand multiple years of just trash performance. But you have a young Italian out there who doesn't play a couple good
yeah, you
games
got like
and
three or
two.
four games that are bad. Yeah, you're off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's
it's
not
it's
getting
really
back on
weird.
the
They
field unless
definitely
someone's
abuse it. Right?
injured. Yeah, they're not. It's like they're benching him to rotate. They're benching him, and then
Yeah.
they only play him when they have to. Whereas, like man, like I said with Juventus, like Douglas Luiz has done nothing but suck since day one that he's got here. I mean, he's had a negative impact in every game he's played in, and the second he's not injured again, he's gonna start immediately. He's gonna get brought right back in the
Makes
starting
family
lineup.
such a big investment. I
Yeah,
guess that you kind of get it with like the youth development and playing your kids. Like, look at the national teams who are now consistently good, right?
yeah.
Spain is consistently good. They play their kids.
Germany.
England is now finally consistently good because they really revamped their academy systems, and now they play their kids. Like, it's
Yeah.
not a secret. It's the same thing over and over again. France plays their kids. Yeah, their league is not as good, but they still play their kids, and they grow up into actually good players. Like
Yes.
you got to play the youth. You have to incorporate them, and honestly, the big teams have to play some of
Hmm.
them. They can't just be on small teams, or else you'll build a good but not great national team. Like
They
it
always
is
used to.
time to make an actual effort as Serie A to do this.
100%. They always used to. They gave up on it, and I with all the foreign investment money here and just the attitude of our fan base, I don't think it's ever going to happen. We'll probably get
Yeah,
land-based and
there's
free
a
and
lot of
suggesting it.
teams bought by Americans. I mean, look
Yeah.
who's going to get bought by him now? Is it
Hellas Verona.
Dallas Verona? I mean, there
Yeah.
was that graphic that we were showing the other day, or I think we were talking about, and half the teams now in Serie A are bought
Yeah.
by Americans. I think
Yep.
IFTV posted it.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, but what do you think is going to happen with that? I mean, it's
Right.
wild.
There's absolutely no loyalty to Italian players in that environment. Absolutely not. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Every single one of these American investors that's buying teams is because they want to make money. They
Well,
don't
they're
give a
they're following
crap.
the role of the prior investors in there, and honestly, these guys like the Jerry Cardinales and guys like this, they go to these business summits, these business things, and they tell them how they're making money in sports in Europe, and they're just one of their teams. Like RedBird owns a bunch of teams, and so they're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a great opportunity in Europe, especially in Italy, because the valuations of the teams are lower, so you can buy them for a good price, and if you just do our method, you're gonna make cash. And so other investors are like, oh, let's do it.
Yeah,
It's
of
just
course. It's working.
yeah, it is working financially for them. It's not great for what we like, but it sucks
Oh,
because Italy is
yeah.
actually coming back now. Like if you look now in the Champions League results here,
Hmm.
like most of them are going to make it through besides Bologna. Like Milan's probably still going to make it through. Juve's probably still going to make it through. So you're going to have 4 out of the 5 teams make it through the next round. That's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of averageness in the modern game. There's a lot of like players in general don't have the passion that they used to. They don't play. There's no world class players anymore. Just none. There's been a
There's like
bunch of
five.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's been a
there's like
bunch of
five.
legends that have come out and said that. I think I've read just was it like a month ago call
Yeah,
everyone
we're talking about that
robots.
one.
Yeah, I mean it's if as long as your team's good enough and you catch fire, you're gonna go far. That's
Yeah,
fine.
there's definitely no like very very scary teams anymore. Like
No,
even Madrid can be beat on their day.
yeah,
Even
dude.
Man City can be beat on their day, but and those would probably be like the two biggest superpowers that exist right now. But they're still beatable.
Well, look at
So
Borussia
yeah,
last year.
there's superpowers.
Borussia went all the way. You know,
Right.
they gave Madrid a hell of a game. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you know
Any team can catch fire. Can catch
yeah
fire. Leverkusen was doing just fantastic first year of Xabi Alonso coaching career.
yeah
So I mean, yeah, any team can catch fire.
yeah exactly. And I think that's what they're all just playing for. I think there's no dynasties being built anymore, and it's just it's all this money ball now, man.
Mhm.
I think that Beppe is doing good stuff with Inter, and that pains me to say it, but he is. Let's see what De Laurentiis does with Conte. They don't have the cash of some of the other clubs, but they did spend quite a bit. They have some big pieces they're going to sell. I would love to do one of these on Napoli too, but I think
I
that
think we do
it's
Juve next because Juve plays tomorrow, so we kind of do a little
yeah.
Champions League review and do that.
Oh yeah. Now
What's
that's not going to be
Osimhen
as
gonna go
tidy
for?
as this.
What do you think Osimhen's gonna go for?
I think Osimhen's going to realistically go for 70.
Because his value says 75, but I don't know how many more years he has on his contract.
He's going to realistically go for 70. They need to sell him this year. He might go for 60. I don't know, but um,
Let me see his contract.
that's someone at the
Let me
top of
see what it
my
runs
list.
out.
But De Laurentiis will never sell him to us.
You
No
know,
way.
I guess it ends. Actually, it ends in 2026.
Yeah, so
So he
he's got
signed
to
a
sell him.
contract extension. Yeah. So basically,
Same with Kvaratskhelia. His ends in 2026 too.
oh, they didn't renew him at all. So
They're
he
trying.
could
They're
leave
in
this year.
talks. They're in
They're trying
talks
it,
right
yeah.
now. Yeah, they're in talks right now. He wants like 8 million, and Napoli's like, no, you're getting 6. He's like, well,
So do
fine,
you
then I'm
really
leaving.
think Osimhen's going to go for 70 if he's in the last year of his contract, or else he leaves for free? Because starting next year, like once the season's done, he comes back to
I think he
Napoli
will go
after
for
his loan's
70.
over.
I think he might even go for more. Here's why. I think
There's
last
enough
year,
competition, you think, or
yeah, exactly. Last year they were asking like 125, some stupid number, and no one wanted to do it. And so he took his licks, loaned him out. Boom. Now I think they know there's a year left. Some team is going to pay at least 70 million to make sure they get
mm,
him. I think so. I don't think that an Italian team is going to get Victor Osimhen. I just don't think so. I don't think we have the money to spend. And of course we do, but we prefer to buy six $30 million players rather than one
then one
70.
class player? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
sure.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's because that makes more
It's
sense.
it's the well, it's because of the risk, and I bet you this is their financial like risk tolerance is
Yeah.
what they do is like if one player who's expensive does not pan out, then you are having an awful mercato financially, right? But
Yes.
if you buy five players and three of them work out, you win. If all of them work out, you definitely won. And if so,
Oh,
it's really that's
or
why they
like
do it.
Juve, you buy
That's why they
seven
do it.
players, one and a half
Juve's
of them are
weird though
working
because
out.
Juve spend a ton of money. Like I get Milan's strategy. I hate it, but I get
Yeah.
it. They spend around roughly 20 million on every player or less. They never break
Yeah,
the
but
bank.
our salaries are low.
Right.
Our
The salaries are,
salaries,
are, are
yep.
low. Well, so is Milan's, but they just don't spend a lot. Juve spent like 50 on Luis or something like that, and
Yeah,
same with
oh
Coop
yeah.
Miners. That's a
55.
ton.
We spent 60 on Coop Miners, 55 on Luis.
That's so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, dude. It's a total
It's like a bad
shit
version of
show.
Moneyball.
Yeah, it's Common Core math. June Toledo's Common Core math.
I don't even know if he knows
He's
how to do math because what if those two
yeah,
players
that's
have
what's
bad
Common Core.
seasons?
Yeah, it's horrible. No,
Oh,
they
oh,
did.
oh, you mean like
Wait,
where you get like a pat on the back if you
yeah, that's what
yeah,
Common
that's
Core
up,
math
yeah.
is.
I
Yeah,
gotcha, yeah.
Coop Miners and Luis are having bad seasons.
F means fantastic, not that you flunked.
F
Yeah,
means yes, F means
I
fantastic.
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, the math doesn't have to have the right answer, you know.
Yeah, I remember there was a funny
Yeah.
thing they were playing like basically like a common core style of soccer or football in like Canada where like you imagine that there was a ball there so no kids got their feelings hurt when either way I'm kind of branching off into
Yeah,
other
no,
stuff
it's
but
yeah, that's gonna open up a whole can of worms. But yeah,
yeah
it's no, I yeah, that we're gonna. I'm sure we'll get into it tomorrow. But that this,
yeah
looking at Milan, it's actually you guys are way closer to to really tipping the scales. And that's what's got to be so frustrating. It's like you guys literally just need a couple pieces,
Well, the thing is, every
and you're done.
season, like we get a little closer, but a little farther. It's like
Right.
back when we were in the semifinals of the Champions League, you just needed a couple targeted investments done. That's it.
Yes.
And then same thing the year after, and then we're getting farther away and farther away. Like you just need to like Leao's probably gonna go, and that's okay. You can make a ton off of his sale. I would probably try to keep Teo, but if he goes, well, now you have a ton of money to play with. Like there's just options out there. There's been
Yeah.
also rumors that Maignan wants to leave, and honestly, I think you could totally find a very good keeper, make a ton of money off Maignan, and buy a very good keeper for half the
Oh
price
yeah,
who
I
is
would sell a
roughly
keeper
similar.
all day. Keepers, I think,
So
especially in Italy, are very easy to find.
yeah, I mean I think
Teo,
that's really fine.
Teo's a
Teo,
tough
I
one.
would like to not sell because I don't
Yeah.
think there's many better, especially if you play wing back. He is, in my opinion, the best wing back in the world. Side back, not as much. Wing back, he's right up there. So I don't think it's easily replaceable.
Yeah, you're not going to replace him. But that's
No,
not the most critical position on the field.
it's not. It's not.
But you
But
can't.
he is a player who would draw names too, which I think you need some of that class at Milan. You need
I
like somebody
agree.
who's like, all right, they got Teo Hernandez, they've got Tonali back, they got Reinders, they got Pulisic. You need to have names at Milan too for prestige.
I
You
think
have to.
Leao wants out. I think he's a bitch. I don't think you want him on your team. I think that that's kind of a guy that if he plays wing, which is there's like a million wingers, he is incredibly talented, yes, but he's just such a freaking prima donna attitude problem. I think I would gladly sell him, and because of that, and I would gladly sell Magnan because of
I
how
would
easy it is
sell
to find
Maignan as well.
goalies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I
those are the
mean,
two
you're
guys
gonna
I
make
would
so much
use.
money. I mean,
Yeah,
what is Maignan?
I mean,
Maignan, there's been rumors of like 60, but he's gonna go for less now. He'll probably go for like 40, but yeah, that's what his value is right now, about 40. So Maignan can be like 40 or so, something like that. Layout can be a ton. I mean, you probably can make like somewhere like 150 with your sales alone,
I
which would
think
fund this
Teo.
entirely plus somebody else.
I think Teo will stay if he sees serious investment being made. But
I
if you
agree.
bring in a bunch of buttheads again, it's
He'll
gonna
leave for
be
Madrid.
yeah, he'll leave for Madrid. Why
And
wouldn't
he
you?
should, and he
He
should.
should,
He's in the
yeah.
prime of his career. Why would he ever? He because if he doesn't move now, then he's
Yeah.
actually committing the best years of his life to
He's not
Milan.
Italian. He doesn't need to be here if he doesn't want. He's been loyal for long enough. It's time for him to go win
Yep,
some fucking hardware. Yeah, absolutely.
yep. I agree. If Milan does not make some serious investments and look like they actually care, he's gonna leave.
Mhm.
I mean, he was actually one of the guys who was most like you knew the second that Maldini was out, you knew that he was probably gonna leave because that was Maldini's first big signing was Teo because he went to Madrid himself. He basically was like, you could become the best left back in the world at Milan, and he like took him under his wing. Teo was the first signing he made. He was like a big signing, and he took a guy who was kind of getting forgotten in Madrid and turned him into a star.
Yeah.
So that's why it was so big, and you just saw like he just doesn't care as much. He doesn't give a crap. He only comes up for big games and he tries hard. Otherwise, he doesn't care like he used to.
No,
So
and it is demotivating though. It is.
it is demotivating when you see
Yeah.
like this thing that you guys are building together start crumbling. Like
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
Starts
and
going to
why would
shit.
you care? Like as a player, you're making millions. Like, what do you owe to AC Milan? Like now, like you want a Scudetto. Like, what do you owe to
Right.
them if they're not going to invest in you? I
I
don't know.
agree.
Well, that's a good breakdown there. I'm excited to do Juve. You can kind of take the lead on that one since that's your stuff there. Hey, another interesting one. If we don't get Tonali, we don't get Ricci. We both like him, but I don't think he's coming because he hasn't been linked. Rovella's a great shout.
I would as far as actual registas, that'd be my first choice.
He's perfect. Great
Rovella
Ricci.
is different than I mean Tonali plays a different position than Ricci and Rovella. Ricci does it differently than Rovella does. The way Rovella
Yep.
does it, I like it the best.
Yeah, because he can actually tackle it, and he's more combative. I
And
agree.
yeah,
That's
and
more
he
my
makes
style.
better vertical passes. He really does. So,
I just like his positioning. It says like when I
yeah,
watch him, I'm like, ah, like that's where when I'm in my head, like, all right, this is where you should be. Yep, this is where you should be. Yep, he's almost always in the right spot,
dude,
which is saying something for the modern.
he's such a big impact player. He has huge presence, and that's why he's been the captain of all his youth teams. So, I mean, that says a lot because when your kids like that, you're only on a team for a couple years. You don't have some old guy that just gets the armband just because. It's like you got to pick your guy that you want to be the leader of your team, and
Yeah,
he seems to get it every time up until he was on Juventus. So That says a lot. And no, I'm a huge fan of Ravella. I'm actually super pumped. I'm so glad. I was pissed at the time. I'm so glad Juve got rid of him because we would have destroyed his career if he would have stayed with us. He would
100%.
have rode the bench for some foreign bum, and then he would have lost confidence. We'd have sold him somewhere. Blah blah blah. Who knows if he would have bounced
Yeah, he
back?
would have
But
kind of like just been like forgotten and
yeah,
whatnot. So no, it is,
yeah,
especially with the way that our teams are going. Sometimes it's
yeah,
unless they actually make a true investment. Yeah, it's better for them to leave so they actually get
yeah,
playing time. Look at Keane. Keane is somebody who was going to route there too, right? So Keane and
yeah.
Ravella would have routed there. Now they're having great seasons and they're on the national team.
Yeah,
So
at this point, for the sake
big
of
difference.
Italy, and since this is Primo Calcio cast Italy first, for the sake
Oh,
of
for sure.
Italy, I want our teams to sell all our Italian players to other Italian teams so they actually get to
Just
play.
awful.
Well, dude, then they'll get to play.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Like Fagioli right now. At first, I was pissed when I heard they were going to sell him. I'm like, no, you know what? Sell him. He just got benched for some bums.
Yeah. He's
Sell him.
actually going to get starting minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll start. He'll start
yeah,
wherever he goes.
yeah. He'll start
Yep.
wherever he goes. I mean, dude, PSG wants him. I mean, it's not like he's getting linked with mid-table club. Serious teams want him.
Well,
You
even
know,
even if he did though, like even if he went to like an Atalanta or like a Fiorentina, he get a ton of
I'd
playing time, and you never know that. That might be good enough for the national team.
I'd
So
rather have him go to a mid-table club in Italy though. Yeah, to be honest
for
with you,
sure,
yeah. I'd like to
sure.
see him go somewhere where he's going to play. And yeah, for the national team, great. For Juve, hey, you know what? I've come to terms with the fact that we're going Milan Moneyball too. And yeah, we got to get rid of
Yeah.
got to get rid of our young guys that aren't going to play. So that's it.
Well, I think we got a couple cool Champions League games to pay attention to tomorrow, so we'll
Yeah.
hopefully make a cast pretty soon on that. We'll at some point pretty soon do like a Juve rebuild. So saying you can take the lead. Those are all my thoughts for today. We'll just kind of keep an eye on all the Serie A teams and see how they progress throughout the Champions League plus Europa League. Any final thoughts from your end?
No, I thought I enjoyed seeing what you would do with Milan because that's a team like whenever I look at it, I'm like I don't even know where to start.
Oh, Milan's so
And
easy because they
it
got so much
is
value there to
yeah
sell.
it
So
seemed
easy.
really easy. Yeah, it
But
you
I
know
would have loved to get Shane's take because he's a we didn't get to hear his history, but he's a newer Milan fan just the past few years. So it's nice
yeah
to see like somebody totally different. And after my take, it would have been nice to kind of see what would you do? Like what would
yeah
you do with this
his
current Milan? Because he may like a lot of more players than this team that I don't like. I would love to see a different perspective. So cool
well
to see.
he did suggest selling Leao, which was he before getting hearing any influence, so that was
That's true.
pretty cool. But yeah, no
I think a lot of people are fed up
career
with his
issues.
mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to. I mean, he's not good enough to deal with that kind of attitude. If he's out there like producing all the time
Yeah.
and he's an ass, that's fine. I have no problem with sometimes players are just like that. But when you're an ass and you don't play games and you don't help you're just invisible half the time.
Yeah. You're
I,
either great or you're terrible.
yeah, I don't know, man. Especially in today's world where there's a great winger in every corner. See you
I
later.
totally agree. I totally agree. I guess I do have a final thought. My final thought is something I said earlier. For me, of course, I would offload him. I would offload a lot of people. However, given RedBird, and you definitely cannot trust them to make an actual investment into somebody to bring. If you sell a top class player to bring in a top class player, I would be very, very scared to see who they bring in to replace him. So,
Oh,
so we'll
yeah.
see.
Well, that's the
We'll see.
problem. Like you would sell him because you would confidently bring in
Yeah, I
someone
would.
that's a
Yeah,
proven
change
entity.
formation. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
but
Redbird's going to bring in a
RedBird,
bum. Yeah.
they're going to bring in three guys, and one
Yeah,
might work out. So they'll all be
exactly.
20 million or less.
Well,
All right, that's it. I got to run. Anything
yeah.
else from your end?
Nope. Good stuff.
All right, thank you all for listening. We will be back, and Forza Calcio. Ciao.
What's a couch?